Last graphing problem here, y equals -2 times x minus 2 to the power of 2 plus 1. So it's a quadratic graph. It is our absolute favorite type of graph. We've been homies for so long. X minus 2 moves me to the right by 2. Plus 1 moves me up 1. So there is my first point. That minus 2 means 1 point over, 2 points down. So, ba-boom. And ba-boom. And again, if you draw this as straight lines, you're so not drawing the right thing. This is a parabola. It should be curved. It is steep, so it's hard to draw the curve. But if you just draw straight lines, I will cry and say, no, sorry, dude, you just drew an absolute value graph. So that's what the graph is going to look like, more or less. What then do I need to do for my domain? Well, it's a parabola, so the domain of every parabola ever created is all real numbers. So I'm not going to write that. But our range is going to be all y values in the set of real number as long as y is less than or equal to positive 1. Or again, if you like interval notation, y is in the interval going from negative infinity up to positive 1. So there you have it. This was just 3 examples of graphs you could have. None of them had reflections in the x direction, so make sure you know how to do that. You need to know the square root graph. You need to know the square graph. You need to know the cube graph. You need to know the cube root graph. You need to know the combination of the square and the cube root graph, the bird graph, the 2/3 graph. You need to know the absolute value of x graph. You need to know the absolute value of x over x graph. You need to know the reciprocal function, 1 over x. These are the mamas we've talked about this year. They ain't the only mamas in the world, but these are the mamas we've been focusing on, and you need to know these mamas. They are good mamas. They're fair mamas. You need to know these mamas. They all look like that. Boom. Boom. You gotta know these mamas.